We're joined now by John Lennon's sister, Julie Baird, who's at Liverpool's famous Cavern Club, where, of course, the Beatles played all their early gigs, and watched the movie last night, didn't you? What did you make of it? Was there stuff that you didn't know about in there, or did it just bring back a flood of memories?
Well, it brought back a flood of memories. There wasn't anything in it that surprised me, I'm pleased to say. It was a really well put together documentary, a lovely narrative of the Beatles, a really good history of those wild years.
What was he like as a young lad then, when he was sort of... Do you remember when he picked up the banjo, the guitar for the first time? Could you instantly see, this boy's quite good at this?
Well, we didn't think anything like that because my mother was absolutely superb at it. She played every instrument going, and she was teaching John to play the banjo. And we remember that. We remember him practicing the chords with my mother with her hand on the frets and John strumming, and then they'd do it the other way round. And my mother was a perfectionist. He had to do it again and again and again until he got it right. And over a very short space of time, the banjo sort of transmuted into a guitar. And the many, many Johnny and the Moondogs, Johnny and the Rainbows, guess whose band it was? Johnny and the Everything, until the Quarrymen, grew up in our kitchen. So we were used to it all the time. So when it exploded for us, it was when they went to America. That's when we realised it had gone crazy.
And could you ever really, I mean, this is your big brother, Julia, who's in this band, but could you ever really understand why there were thousands and thousands of girls screaming and screaming and screaming just to hear him play, when he's just your big brother, who I'm sure was really annoying and used to annoy you like big brothers do to little sisters?
Well, I couldn't believe it when we first heard them on a big stage, which was the Empire in Liverpool, where all the big acts came. They were supporting Roy Orbison, and we loved Roy Orbison, so of course we all went along to see the show, and the Beatles were actually closing the first half of the show, and everyone round just screamed and screamed and screamed, and I was irritated because you couldn't hear anything. But sadly, when Roy Orbison came on in the second half, they carried on screaming, "We want the Beatles," and I was mortified. I thought it was really embarrassing. I mean, it was something that happened that, you know, apparently it happened for Frank Sinatra. We know it happened for Elvis, but I don't know. The Beatles may have been the first band where no one could hear what was going on because of the screaming.
Love it.
Absolutely fantastic. My goodness me. Well, what a lovely night it must have been for you last night, and we can't wait to go to cinema ourselves and look at effectively your family album, really, and see what it was all like for you.
Yeah. Are you fearing the onslaught of the big 7-0 as a rocker?
No, I feel my age, though. I do, you know, I feel it. I can do the same stuff, but it takes a lot more out of me now, yeah.
What's touring like when you... I mean, you guys have been touring for 50 years?
Well, we've had a bit of a renaissance. You know, it's amazing with this young Adam Lambert guy. He has been great.